Hello, greetings and salutations. This is the Real Agent P, and I'm coming back at you enjoying some peach tea today. And my guest, he is a streamer, a YouTuber, and he likes to dabble in the competitive side of fighting games. It's IVAWESOME. How are you doing today, my man?
Hey, Agent P. Thanks for having me today. I'm doing good. Busy day, and I've been looking forward to this. So I'm glad to, finally get it done.
I'm glad to have you on here, man. I've been a fan of your channel for a little while. Actually started watching you. Honestly, Dotadoya brought me to you to be in all that in all the honesty that there is. Yeah, I saw you on Dotadoya's channel. I'm like, wait, I know that name because I think that you were in a tournament that I was in at one point. It might have been like the IBC. Might have been that first one, I think. And I'm like, yeah. I know that name. I got to go check this guy out. And then I did, and I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. I'm going to start following.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I like to get into the nice, deep, nitty-gritty at the beginning of these. So, hardball question, what's your favorite color?
Despite the blue, so I wear a lot of red, and my background is always blue. My favorite color is purple. I'm a part of the purple game. Okay.
Yeah, we had a couple of those on here, man.
Yeah,
so I'm surprised. I'm surprised there's not more purple in there, but I get the red and blue. Combining. It works. It works.
Purple to me, right halfway. Yep.
Yeah. See, there you go. Yeah, gotta have that happy balance in your life, right?
Yes. Yeah. And purple is just such a nice, especially when it's like a nice bold purple, like Twitch purple. It's really good. Really, a lot of my outfits are purple. Like I have a really nice Purple Rain T-shirt.
Nice.
And it's one of my favorites.
So speaking of favorites, what would you say is your favorite food?
Favorite food? That is pretty easy. It's fettuccine Alfredo, but I have been vegetarian for almost 3 years.
Okay.
But before I was, shrimp Alfredo was my favorite.
Oh.
My favorite dish.
Yeah, my wife is a huge fan of shrimp. She just loves.
Oh yeah,
shrimp.
I love shrimp. I loved pasta.
Yeah. So aside from fettuccine Alfredo, what would be one other one that you would say that you absolutely love?
Another one. I'm actually a pretty big fan of lentil soup.
Okay.
I have lentil soup pretty often. Probably about once or twice a week.
Nice.
I make some lentil soup, and it's nice. It's filling, and it's healthy. It's one of my go-to meals when I can't really think of something to eat. I like to make a nice pot of lentil soup.
Yeah. No, my wife's stepdad eats a ton of lentil soup too. So
yeah.
So I was around it a lot. It's a good food. It's not my favorite, but I can eat some lentil soup if I need to.
Yeah, some of them I don't like. Others, like the one I eat now, I like it a lot. The first time I had lentil soup, I was like, I don't know if I really like this. But I found a really good one from Trader Joe's.
Okay.
I don't know if you have that where you're from.
Nope, we're tiny. We barely have a Walmart.
Like have you heard of Trader Joe's?
Oh yeah, I've been into Trader Joe's before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then.
My sister used to live up in Chicago, and I had to house sit for her for like a week while her and her ex-husband at the time, her first husband. She's married now, and it's great. But her first husband, her and him went down to Carnival in Brazil for a week, and I had to go up there and house sit for him. I'm like, yeah, sure. She paid me. She paid for my ride up. Gave me food. I'm like,
that's cool.
I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll chill in Chicago for a week. Yeah.
Actually went to Chicago like 4 years ago for like a weekend.
Okay.
In the middle of winter. It was pretty cool. I'd never been to Chicago before. I'd like to go back sometime.
Yeah, no, it's neat. You get on Michigan Avenue, Miracle Mile, just tons of good restaurants, tons of stuff to do.
Oh yeah.
There is always something to do up there. That's the one good thing about it. So speaking of, I'm continuing with the whole food concept here. We've talked about favorite foods, but what is one food that you would rather die than eat?
Rather die than
what's one food that you're just like, no, I'm gonna starve. I'm just gonna starve.
There's meat, because I don't eat meat, but that's kind of, I mean, obviously I ate it before, but something that I just would rather die would be green bean casserole.
Oh yeah,
I'd have to go with green bean casserole.
I totally feel you on that one.
Yeah, I had a very funny, traumatizing experience with green bean casserole as a kid, as a younger kid, and yeah, I am not a fan. You can ask my brother as well. We're both basically forced to eat green bean casserole, and ever since, like, we have an inside joke. If we mention green bean casserole to each other, it's just an automatic, it's mutual groan of.
It's just kind of one of those
disgust.
like it's a trigger word that just makes you like.
Yeah, you're just like, oh no, please stop. You don't need to remind me about the green bean casserole incident.
Nice. All right, so like I said earlier, you're a streamer, you're a YouTuber, and you dabble in the competitive side of fighting games. So what made you get into content creation? Like what jump started that for you?
Content creation. So I've been like, if someone were to go back on my YouTube channel and sort by oldest, I've had videos posted like ever since like 7th grade, like when I was 13, of just random gameplay that I would do. And first I was inspired by another YouTuber, Jev, Jev. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I have not.
But I was inspired by him, and I posted like 3 videos a year. And then I used to use the built-in PlayStation interface to live stream as well. But it was very like random. Like I said, maybe like 3 times a year or something, I would stream. Maybe there was sections of years here and there where I'd stream for a couple of days in a row. And this was all over on YouTube. I did not even touch Twitch yet. But summer of last year, about in, I'd say mid-June, maybe even mid-July, I just decided to start streaming every day, either a stream or a YouTube upload every day. And at first it was just variety, or probably from June to maybe September or October. And then I started posting on TikTok. I would just get my clips and just post it on TikTok, whether it be Fall Guys, Call of Duty, or Fighters. And then Fighters gained a lot of traction over on TikTok. And after a couple months, I got maybe about 1,000 followers over on TikTok from Fighters. And then everyone shifted over to Twitch. And then they started showing a lot of love in my Twitch channel. I was like, okay, maybe I'll start streaming on Twitch. And then I ran into Lotus and Dato. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll start uploading on YouTube. And then Fighters became my thing, like full, the one game that I do, as opposed to me doing a bunch of variety streaming. I just happened to get a lot of traction on Fighters. And yeah, that's where I'm at now. I try to improve my content daily, both on Twitch and YouTube.
Nice. You actually answered my follow-up question to that, was like, what made you decide the content that you do? But I mean, you just rolled that all up in a nice answer. So way to go. Read my mind.
I'm glad I was able to do that.
All right. So with your, you said your Fighters got you the most traction. Is that gonna be a game that is gonna be staying on your channel for a long time?
Oh yeah,
or
for sure.
Do you think you're gonna switch over to a different main fighting game? Like, because I know Strive is right around the corner here. It's like as of recording, it's what, like 2-3 weeks away?
Probably. About.
Yeah.
That's a good question. It's a question I've been asking myself a lot. Not asking myself, or I've been asked a lot lately. I'm not going to drop Fighters. I love the game too much. It is literally the only game that I do not feel like an ounce of anger towards at all. Part of that came from YouTube, because I really like Dato's energy, to where like you never see him get mad at the game. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to be the kind of person where people see me get mad or frustrated. Like I wouldn't really want to have that kind of energy towards the game.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of, even if I thought it, I would limit myself from speaking it. And over the months, like that's just become my natural attitude towards the game, where I'm just like, I got no complaints about the game. It's a really nice game, and I love Dragon Ball. I've always loved Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I've dabbled in other games. I started fighting games from Mortal Kombat, actually.
Okay.
So if Mortal Kombat were a bit more entertaining to watch, I would like to do Mortal Kombat content. But in the state it is right now, I don't know. feel the same way about Strive. I like playing it, but I don't know how much people, at least my audience, I don't know how much they enjoyed watching it. So it might be like a once a week kind of thing where I bring it on the channel. But I love playing Strive. It's really fun.
Yeah, I've noticed that like you get your core audience around your one game. Because my channel, like yours, is mainly a fighters channel, but I also have like stuff where the lovely wife comes on and plays. She's still in the middle of recording God of War, the PS4 version.
Yeah, I think I saw you mention that.
Yeah, she's still in the middle of it because we had about a month here where she hasn't been able to record because the studio that we're in is also my work office now because I'm working from home. So
that's awesome.
So she can't just get in here anytime she wants to. And on the evenings and everything and weekends we've got stuff planned and we got to do. So the recording on that's been a little behind. But yeah, those don't tend to get as much traction as like the fighters videos do. But it's fun because I'll throw in like Fantasy Strike every once in a while, and those videos do get a good amount of traction just because it's not it's not a game that's played a lot and out there a lot. So the idea of throwing in a second game or even a third game like once or twice a week seems to be a pretty good idea. But you got to keep your core and your base there to keep everybody happy. So that's always good. But speaking, you said you're a longtime Dragon Ball fan. I see the Ozaru shirt that you're rocking right now.
Yes, it's one of my favorite shirts.
Gotcha. So who would you say is your favorite Dragon Ball character?
Dragon Ball character, if I'm super basic, I'd most likely have to say Goku, but I'd say maybe Dragon Ball's Goku, like the original Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Besides Goku, 17 would be up there. Cooler and Janemba, those two have always been my favorites because of how cool they look. I actually have a, pardon the noise, but I have a Kid Goku Funko Pop right here. And that's just how much I like the original Goku. The more I think about it, there's so many more characters in Dragon Ball that I like. They just have so many cool, iconic characters. It'd probably be easier to say the characters I don't like in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that sometimes tends to be a shorter list. Yeah. Yeah. Now, as you can see, I'm rocking the Lord Cooler right there. So,
oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and you actually played my main team.
Yeah.
In one of your videos of Cooler 21 Janemba. So I mean, so you know the vibes.
The only gripe with fighters is that they changed Cooler's voice.
Yeah. And
I've gotten used to it, but I miss his old voice.
Yeah.
I hear his old voice.
My biggest thing was I always liked Cooler. So that was one of the reasons I originally picked him up whenever he first dropped as a DLC. But I had watched so much Team 4-Star up until that point that I had that guy's voice stuck in my head. So whenever he started talking, I'm like, wait, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah, they completely. It was kind of a weird choice to overhaul his voice only for fighters. The Xenoverse, it was the old voice he had, and everywhere else it's been his old voice. But for fighters specifically, he decided to change it up.
I mean, you could go real deep conspiracy theory because they haven't said anything about the new movie coming out. They just announced it. So I mean, you could really read it that he's a different voice actor. Maybe that means that they're bringing it in.
Maybe there's a new Cooler on the horizon.
I'm really hoping because I have this cool headcanon of how they could bring him in. Because my headcanon with that would be whenever King Cold gave the Frieza Force to Frieza, Cooler was like, screw you guys, I'm gonna go make my own empire. And just goes off to the other side of the galaxy. Because at the end of the Broly movie, you see the Frieza Force going and conquering stuff again. So my headcanon is while he was going and conquering stuff, Cooler's empire has been expanding and they actually run into each other, and Cooler his forces just kick the crap out of Frieza's and comes in and he kicks the crap out of Frieza, and Frieza goes to Goku and Vegeta's oh, save me. And Cooler comes and starts whipping his ass in front of him, and Vegeta's no, wait, let me have this for a second. So
yeah, is it kind of like platinum cooler or something like that along those lines?
Yeah, a platinum cooler, because that's better than gold. That's better than golden Frieza. So yeah, you gotta one up the little brother.
Yeah. And then I'm also a big brother, so I've always loved big brother characters in anime.
What would you say is some of your favorite anime then? I mean, obviously Dragon Ball's up there, but
yeah, my number one is Death Note.
Okay.
I've seen Death Note honestly at least 15 times at the minimum. Besides that, I've been watching, honestly, in the past few months, I watched Attack on Titan maybe like 3 times, because I read it myself, then I watched it as the new episodes came out, and then I introduced it to my sister, my little sister, and then we watched it as the episodes came out. Then back when they originally came out, I watched it with my little brother. And then recently, my sister was watching it, like rewatching it from the beginning. And then my dad walked in the room, and he was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And then he started watching it. So my mom started watching it. So now all of us on the weekends, we get together as a family. We've been watching Attack on Titan, and that was so cool for me.
Yes.
Especially from like my parents not watching anime at all. Also, kind of worries me a bit, because their first anime being Attack on Titan might make it a little bit harder for them to watch other anime.
Yeah, no, I get that. I kind of feel you with that, because my wife's grandma is just not into anime at all. But she's popped by while we were watching Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
Yeah, and we were like in the first episode, like we had just started it. And she sits down and just literally just watches the entire thing. It's like, that was pretty good. I'm like, yeah, Billy, it's pretty damn good.
So that's another high bar to set for someone's first anime.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I didn't think they were all like this. I'm like, they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
No, like Cowboy Bebop's an outlier on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of typical shonen that I don't think would appeal as much. Yeah, like besides those two, maybe Naruto. A lot of other obscure anime that I really liked, like The Devil's Part-Timer.
Yeah,
that one, I like that one a lot. I'm excited they're doing a second season for that. I've wanted that for so long.
Yeah.
Those are just some of my top 3 off the top of my head. I've watched most of shonen out, except One Piece. One Piece, I tried reading it, but I couldn't quite get into it. I just can't with One Piece.
Yeah, like if you're not already into One Piece, there's almost no use in trying to get into it at this point. If you do, you just kind of got to jump in where it is now and just kind of ride that. Forgive the pun, ride the boat, and just kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
All right. So aside from anime, what would you say are some of your other favorite movies and TV shows?
Movies, my favorite movie would have to be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I really like that movie. Obviously The Dark Knight, Pulp Fiction, Empire Strikes Back. I like watching movies, but they're more critically acclaimed movies. I wouldn't consider them my favorites, but I do like watching. It's all around good movies. And then TV shows with real people, I don't watch too often, actually. I try to watch, I try to watch The Walking Dead. I watched about 3 or 4 seasons of it, and then I stopped. I watched Invincible recently, and geez, another high bar for me to set, because after watching Invincible, I wanted more like Invincible, but nothing just quite really caught me like that. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I watched The Mandalorian. I haven't watched the second season yet. Every time I tell my friend that I haven't watched the second season of The Mandalorian, he tells me, do I know what happens? And I say I have not. And he says, I don't know how you've lived this long on the internet and you don't know any clue what happens. So yeah, I need to get around to finishing that before I do know whatever happens in The Mandalorian season 2.
I've only seen the first half of the first episode, or first half of the first season, not episode. The first half of the first season, and yeah, I know what happens at the end of the second season of The Mandalorian. So I'm like, it's already been ruined for me, but I'm not gonna ruin anything here, so don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I'm not just gonna blurt something out, so you're good.
Thank you.
So something that goes along with movies, kind of hand in hand, is music. So what would you say is your favorite like genre of music to listen to?
My favorite genre to listen to, it's tough. It's really tough because usually people ask me my favorite genre to just listen to, it would have to be jazz. But if they asked me to list jazz artists, I just couldn't. But I will put on jazz and I'll just listen to it like for hours throughout the day, like while I do school or, while I work on videos. So I listen to so much jazz, but I would not be able to name artists. Genres I'd be more familiar with would be like alternative music, like around the 2000s, hip hop, R&B, basically anything that isn't country. I don't really listen to country. My dad listens to a lot of country, so I inadvertently listen to country, but I myself do not listen to country. I'm a big fan of The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar, Prince, Nirvana. I actually collect CDs. Over here, this little triangle up on my, there it goes, up on my wall, I have my CD collection. I'd say I probably have about maybe 30 something CDs of just a bunch of different artists. So I do like to collect CDs. I would like to start collecting vinyls. I just wouldn't have anywhere to put them. And then there's my guitar in the background. Not very good at playing the guitar, but I do like try my best every now and then.
Yeah, I actually wrote down, like when you said Purple Rain, when you said you had a Purple Rain shirt, I'm like, I actually wrote down like Prince fan. So I was gonna ask that, but you already answered that question. So like, again, you're just answering before I even ask him. So this is perfect.
I'm glad I'm giving the compact answers.
All right, so the meat of both of our channels is video games. So what would you say is your favorite? Let's start off specific. What would you say is your favorite fighting game?
Favorite fighting game? It's tough. It's like really close between, like, I was gonna say close between 2 games. I was like, wait, it's actually close between 3 games. I was like, wait, it's actually close between 4 games. Because Fighters is obviously up there because of how much I play it, how grateful I am for Fighters and what it's done for me. But besides that, it's probably like 3 Mortal Kombat X, because that's where I can say I started getting, I guess, decent at fighting games. That's where one of my older friends, he's probably about like 3 years older than me, he actually started teaching me how to play fighting games like correctly. I also like Mortal Kombat 9, because that's probably a fighting game I'd play with my dad all the time when I was younger. That was my first, like, I had an opponent that I just couldn't beat, and I just tried and tried and tried. And then there's Mortal Kombat 2, which is what made me fall in love with fighting games, because my dad and my uncle are twins.
Okay.
And they both have sons, which are like 3 weeks apart. So my cousin is like 3 weeks younger than me. So they've always like pitted us against each other in different things. And they had us play each other in Mortal Kombat 2 back when we were like maybe 6 years old or something. And when I played that, I really liked it because there was no outside variable to the outcome of me winning. There was no team, there's no one to blame for me winning or losing besides me. And then ever since then, like, I just really love fighting games because there's nothing else to blame on. I don't have to rely on the teammates. I have to rely on randomness. And so that Mortal Kombat 2 will always have a special place in my heart for introducing me to the genre.
Nice. So aside from fighting games, what would you say are some of your favorite video games?
My all-time favorite video game would be a pretty obscure PlayStation 2 game called Lego Soccer Mania. It's super niche from what I've known. I don't think I've ever encountered someone that I've told about it that's known about it. And it's basically FIFA, but with Lego characters and like power-ups. Me and my cousin would play it all the time. Outside of that, I really like Rayman 3. Rayman 3 is like one of my all-time favorites. Dragon Ball Ultimate Tenkaichi 3, and then Lego Star Wars. I actually got both of those 2 games from my older cousin, and those 2 games introduced me to Star Wars and to Dragon Ball, which are my 2 favorite things in the world. So those 2 will always be some of my favorite games.
Nice. My wife absolutely loves like the Lego games, like Lego Star Wars, Marvel, Harry Potter, whatever. I think she has all of them, except for maybe Indiana Jones. I don't know if she owns the Indiana Jones.
Oh, really?
Ones. Yeah, but she's got like all the Star Wars ones. She's got all the Harry Potters, got all the Marvel. I'm pretty sure she has the DC ones. I'd actually bet money that she has all the DC ones.
Yeah.
So like, she just absolutely loves the Lego games. So I can get where you're coming from on those. Yeah. No, those are.
It's funny you say she doesn't have the Indiana Jones one, because before I rebranded to IVAWESOME, it was Ivan's on YouTube. And then before I rebranded to that, my name was just my gamer tag, which is Indiana Jones. So I was like, dang, that kind of hurt a little bit that out of all the ones she doesn't have, it's.
I know she's played it at the very least. I know she's played it because I've seen her play it, but I just don't know if she owns it. That's the only one that I cannot say for certainty that she owns. So yeah, I didn't mean to wound you. So
oh, it's okay. No offense is taken.
All right, so one of my little like finishing up questions that I like to do. This is actually a little twist on it from what I normally do. But do you have like a secret talent or like something that you do that is either just not widely known or something that like you don't think a lot of other people can do?
If this were anyone outside of the community asking me this question, I'd probably say I'm decent at fighting games. But obviously, that's not new news here. But like a secret talent, I'd either have to go with I am kind of fast, or I am decent at art. Okay. I used to be pretty big on art when I was younger. I used to like drawing a lot. My family, they'd always consider me like the artist of the family. And my little sister's more of the artist of the family. But I still have like folders of my old drawings, and when I look back at them, I was like, dang, these are actually pretty good considering my age. And then past, I'd say my real life friends would know that I did track and cross country in school. I'm actually a freshman in college. But from the community and from YouTube and Twitch, I would think not many people would know that about me, that I used to do sports in high school, and I'd say I was pretty decent. I was pretty decent at sports. But yeah, those are the only 2 talents I can think of that are, secret niche talents of mine people might not know about. Be track and artwork.
Okay, so you're fast and you draw a lot. Nice.
Yeah, or at least I used to.
Yeah,
I've been my high school actually has an alumni run that they're doing, because I graduated last year, and COVID and everything kind of sucks. I didn't get a real graduation, but our coach reached out to us and he was like, hey old timers, if y'all are interested, we're having a alumni run where all of the old seniors that would run our events are going to come, and we're going to do a mile. And so lately I've been trying to get back into running shape for that, and I was like, it's been a year, so I am definitely not ready to run again.
Yeah, I am not a running person. If I'm running, there is something extremely wrong. So I'm just gonna throw that one out there. So yeah, I don't think I've ran a mile since I was in high school. So
yeah, running, you love it and you also hate it. You love to say that you love it, but when you're doing it, it's not fun. It's probably one of the, or at least long distance running, it's really painful. There's no getting used to it. With short distance running, it's kind of just like that. It's over, like like ripping off a Band-Aid. A long distance running, it's painful. The thought of it is like, this is gonna suck, and then from start to finish, it's this sucks. This hurts the entire time. Because with short distance, it's probably the most anxiety that I've ever felt. Whenever I talk to other track runners, which my little brother also does it, we relate to, there's nothing more anxious than getting ready to do a short distance run. The amount of like adrenaline and just like your body kind of feels like numb. And we both like instantly relate to that. But once you start running, it's kind of over. But long distance, no, it's painful. The entire nearly 20 minutes, depending on how long the run is. Yeah, it's brutalizing.
Yeah, it does not sound fun to me.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, IVAWESOME, I'm very glad that you came on here. If people don't know where to find you, where can they do that?
Okay, well, if y'all don't know where to find me, you can find me on Twitch, you can find me on YouTube, you can even find me on TikTok and Twitter. The handle IVAWESOME on all of those things. And thank you for having me, Agent P.
Hey, not a
problem. Really been a fan of Tea with Agent P, and I'm glad to, even though I'm not drinking tea, I'm glad to be spilling the tea.
Yep, nope, I totally appreciate that. So yeah, guys, definitely go check him out. Give his channels some love. Follow him on TikTok. Follow him on Twitch. Go sub to his YouTube. Stalk him on Twitter. Do all that kinds of fun stuff. So, but guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, definitely go down here. Hit those like buttons, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell for notifications, and leave a comment down below. If you have anybody in particular that you would like to see me try to get on here, definitely drop it down in the comments, and I will do my best to accommodate that. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, but most importantly, have a great day.